Following the Trump assassination attempt, I was wondering how to present everything in this week's show, and I think one of the best things that we can do for you is present a summary and analysis of what the best non-left-wing commentators in America have been saying this past week. So that's what I've spent a lot of time on. My thoughts are that this assassination attempt was the culmination of years of continuous attacks on Donald Trump that were completely out of proportion to the threat that the man poses, even if you absolutely hate him and his policies. I don't buy the argument that there's been equal attacks and bad rhetoric on both sides, that both sides are responsible for bringing down the institutions of good civil government or disgracefully abusing the criminal justice system for political gain. Nope, it's been 99% the work of one side, a corrupted and sick Democratic Party institution going all the way back to the Obama era and in some cases the Clinton era that has slowly stacked the bureaucracy, the public service in America, with its people. Career bureaucrats in place to do the bidding of the Democratic Party and the socialist left, no matter what conventions of justice and good government that might overturn. Yep, it's true that the more politically career-minded bureaucratic Republicans have contributed their share of deep state nonsense too. By the way, when I use the term deep state, I'm not referring to something spooky or conspiratorial, just the good old senior-ranking public servant bureaucrats who, instead of taking orders from the politicians who represent us, the people, and dutifully executing those orders, they like to control the politicians and give orders to them and run things their way. The deep state isn't really that deep at all. Just watch the classic British comedy Yes, Prime Minister to understand how it all works. So sure, the Bush era had a few of these types, but nobody has elevated it all to such a fine art as the Clinton-Obama-Biden machine of government. By the elites, for the elites. And this is why Donald Trump simply must become the next president of the United States. What he's had to overcome to keep up this fight to drain the swamp is unbelievable, because every swamp creature known to man has emerged from the depths of the swampland and tried to take him out. Nobody listed out this week what Trump has endured since 2015 quite as well as Megyn Kelly when she was speaking with Dennis Prager on her independent media show, and Mark Levin, who was speaking on Fox News, three of the best broadcast commentators in the US, in my view. Here's Megyn and Dennis first.
They ruined his first term by calling him illegitimate from day one, including Hillary Clinton. They spent 4 years accusing him falsely of colluding with the Russians and being some sort of Manchurian candidate. They impeached him over a BS phone call, accusing him of doing something we would later learn the current president, Joe Biden, was effectively doing when it comes to Ukraine, according to the allegations, trading favors for corrupt purposes. They impeached him a second time as he was on his way out of office. They changed the law in New York State to get him so that E. Jean Carroll could resurrect a 30-year-old claim she didn't even know she had. She couldn't remember the year in which he allegedly sexually assaulted her in a Bergdorf Goodman dressing room. And sure enough, she brought the case, funded by Democrat activists.
But wait, there's even more.
They brought a nearly $500 million case against his business over some BS fraud claim that not a single bank who was allegedly defrauded complained about, and shut down, essentially, the Trump operation in the state of New York. They filed a criminal indictment against a sitting former president of the United States for the first time in our nearly 250-year history for a bookkeeping error at best that he put into an accounting book that no one saw about his hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. They indicted him again down in Florida for taking presidential records that Joe Biden also took, though he'd never been president, so he was not able to declassify anything. Same offense. He didn't get charged. Trump facing charges down there.
Wait, there's even more.
They indicted him over January 6th, the same thing that he got impeached over, but they wouldn't actually convict him, a thing the Democrats could not let go of. That claim has now been all but gutted by the U.S. Supreme Court, saying you were out of line. What happens next? He's on his way to getting the nomination. Joe Biden is infirm, as we all saw at that debate. The panic button has officially been hit on the Democratic side, and Trump has never been more of a threat. And now tonight, after calling him Hitler on newspaper magazines and in formally respected newspapers, they sit and they say, really, he should tone down the rhetoric? Really, he should be calling for his side to behave better. You've got to be kidding me.
Megyn Kelly on her independent media show there. And US radio and TV commentator, author and constitutional expert Mark Levin echoed that sentiment on Fox News.
And then I want to say this to President Trump. Now, Brian, everybody's been on all 9 days. I want to say something. God bless President Trump. He's pushed back the FBI. He's pushed back the Department of Justice. He's pushed back these DAs and attorney generals. He survived 2 impeachments. He survived a criminal investigation. No man should have to go through this. No man whatsoever. And I think the American people understand this completely. You know, I knew Reagan. I know a lot of very great men. This man is historic. This man is special. This man is standing up against evil at so many levels. This man has put his life on the line, his family on the line, his career on the line, everything on the line. And I want the American people to compare that to Joe Biden, who thinks the presidency, he deserves it.
Mark Levin on Fox News there. Apart from pointing out what Trump has endured, the endless attacks, and they still couldn't get him after all that ridiculous lawfare, which is now all just falling apart, by the way. Mark Levin also put the blame for the assassination attempt square at the feet of the media, the corporate media that just never stopped attacking Trump. I've always said that if you're an Australian, it's not surprising you'd think Donald Trump was Hitler or the most evil threat to democracy in a century, because the media here just parrot what their US affiliates shove at them.
The fact of the matter is, Donald Trump survived an assassin's bullet. God was watching over him. That's number one, Brian. Number two, lawfare is almost dead. Donald Trump has beaten a corrupt Department of Justice, a corrupt Attorney General, a corrupt DA in Manhattan. That case will be resolved properly, and a corrupt DA in Atlanta. They've tried to bankrupt him. They've tried to imprison him. They've smeared his character and his name. And I want people to remember something when they talk about J.D. Vance said these things about Trump. He's apologized. When will the media apologize? When will our Al Jazeera Pravda media apologize? They talk about what's wrong with America. Oh, there's sickos in America. The problem is there's too many of these people in the media. When will Comcast do something about Joy Reid and the lineup at MSNBC? When will Warner Brothers do something about CNN and the lineup at CNN? They have no self-reflection, no circumspection. The media have led the charge with this Hitler narrative, which is grotesque. When I listen to these reprobates in media, and they're not going away, they'll give it a week, they'll give it 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They never stop, and they never will stop. This is who they are. Joe Biden's been doing this for 50 years. When I hear what these people say, and they take no responsibility, right. Not one of them has been fired by corporate media. Not one of them has gone on the air and apologized. And the head of the whole operation, demanding that his campaign go low, attack low. Look, I'm telling it as it is. I haven't been on the air for 9 days. That's Joe Biden.
Mark Levin on Fox News this week. Megyn Kelly and Dennis Prager agreed.
These Democrats, these leftists here, they're probably 2 weeks away from blaming whatever happens next on Donald Trump. They're going to pull up that statement and say it was incitement and blame him for it, the same way as please go peacefully and march on the Capitol got turned into, falsely, incitement under the law. Donald Trump is a human being. He's allowed to have a minute before he thinks about what to tell his supporters about how to behave. And you know what else? They're entitled to their anger right now. I hope they don't. I pray they don't do any return violence. I urge them not to. But they're absolutely entitled to feel enraged tonight. Dennis, I feel it too.
I've been enraged for all of my lifetime about what the left has done to Western civilization and what the left did to any country it took over. Why don't people hate communism as much as Nazism? It's the left has gotten a moral pass for all of its history. And this is just another example. You can say the man is Hitler and get away with it. You can say that he inspired an insurrection. We don't have a right to be angry. We have a moral duty.
That's Dennis Prager, US media commentator and founder of the PragerU channel. Hope you enjoyed that clip. The Other Side is your weekly analysis of the media's best news and commentary without the woke. And we need your support. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel right here on YouTube and follow us on X at The Other Side on X. It's totally free, but we could always do with your support. So if you'd like to make a donation, click the Super Thanks button on YouTube with the $ and the thanks on it right under the video frame below. And if you're watching on YouTube, check out the full episode that this clip came from right here.